Welcome to this relatively honest review about Starfield. If you have been following gaming news for the past couple of months, you have no doubt heard about Starfield, whether good or bad. 1,000 planets, but only 100 of them have intelligent life. The game is visually stunning, but locked to 30 frames on console. The list goes on and on, so I'm here to give my opinion about this game. As a disclaimer, I have not played Baldur's Gate 3 or even watched gameplay of it. I only mention that because I've seen some people claim that after playing Baldur's Gate 3, Starfield just isn't fun for them. With that being said, let's begin. Immediately, I realized that this game's optimization is god-awful. During seemingly random portions of the game, I'll experience really bad frame drops. What makes it worse is that even when I change my settings, the problem still persists. And I know that this is an issue with the game because my computer is relatively above average, and even people with better computers than mine are having the same issue. Cyberpunk 2077 felt like it ran better at launch. Some people will probably say that the main Constellation storyline is boring or lackluster, but I think it's passable, so I won't complain about it. But what I will complain about is the combat of this game. It is not engaging whatsoever. The enemies are bullet sponges. It's like every Destiny boss. There is very little challenge. It's just a matter of me watching the enemies' health bars go down. The gunplay feels the same as Cyberpunk 2077's, which is very clunky and unnatural. This isn't a unique problem to Starfield. The combat in every Bethesda game works like this. But to be fair, if you bought a Bethesda game thinking there was about to be Souls level combat, I wish I could take whatever drugs you do. This next issue isn't a major one, but it bothers me a lot, and it's how quest dialogue is handled. To clarify, I don't mean the quality of the dialogue, I mean the camera positioning. When a character is talking, the game will automatically center their face on your screen. This doesn't sound too bad by itself, but when you're standing in a dialogue triangle, it's really annoying. If you don't know, a dialogue triangle is when the player and two or more NPCs are standing in a triangle and there is a three-way conversation happening. In an ideal setting, the player will be able to make the choice to center their camera on whoever is talking. Not only does this maintain immersion, it makes minutes of dialogue more bearable. In Starfield, it feels like I'm watching a movie that is only shot reverse shot for minutes at a time. It creates too many unnatural breaks. I know what you might be thinking, Mango EX2, that is a very small nitpick that doesn't even drastically affect gameplay. But to that I say, if I'm expected to pay $70 for a AAA game, I expect $70 quality. I expect the things that players have been complaining about in games from decades ago to not be present in a game that's recently released. Now, I will say that the atmosphere of the game is phenomenal. Get it? Starfield? Atmosphere? Space travel? Hold your applause, please. But so stupid. But really, the world is very interesting, or should I say worlds. I am eager to learn more about each planet and the history behind the different factions. The voice acting and facial animations are on point the overwhelming majority of the time, but in true Bethesda fashion, the physics of the game and NPC interactions are often hilarious. To me, at the very least. Now I know this might be a hot take, but Starfield isn't particularly great at anything other than the character customization, but I think that's fine. I quite enjoy the fact that the game is just okay at most things. It's a hard feeling to describe, but I like it a lot. When I talk about games, I usually refrain from giving the game credit for the potential it has, but Bethesda games are different. From my understanding, Bethesda is allowing modders to make their own planets, weapons, characters, and even storylines. And if you know anything about Bethesda fans, it's that they are some of the most passionate gamers on the planet. While I already enjoy the game, I'm very excited to see the mods that the community will create. The possibilities are limitless. Where in other Bethesda games, modders felt like they were trying to fit a theme, when you can make your own planets and storylines, you can completely control the theme. It gives true creative freedom to the modders. There is a potential negative for people playing on console. Bethesda could always force console players to pay for mods through the heavily curated selection of the Creation Club, which would be terrible. Hopefully they don't do that, but you never know. Money is a hell of a motivator. But overall, I definitely recommend for most players to wait until Bethesda smooths out most of the technical issues with the game before purchasing it, especially if you are playing on console. And for the people who believe that this game is going to be Game of the Year, man.
I heard that you're so fast, you can run around a planet and sign the back of your own head. We just need to find you a pen.